Okay, this is Sean Collins, Chief Forecaster of Surfline, and this is, the first order of business, looking down on the Southern Hemisphere, what to expect over the next 2 weeks.
At any given moment, a perfect wave is breaking somewhere on this earth. For the surfer, the trick has always been knowing where and when to find it. Today, surfers are able to drop everything and take off. Not chasing an epic swell, but traveling to meet it. They do this by taking advantage of tools that have literally changed the way we look at the world. Tools that were conceived of by one man, Sean Collins.
I felt like we were tuned into something no one else had, Like only very few people kind of had that access to Sean.
I really didn't know anything about forecasting until I really met Sean.
Prior to Sean, we were in the dark ages.
Yeah, whatever Sean did, we did, always.
Sean was one of the 25 most powerful people in surfing.
This all started with a wave and the simple desire to know when it would be good. In the early 70s, Sean Collins was just another surfer in love with Baja, and more specifically, Scorpion Bay.
They actually thought that the only way you could get south swell in Baja was from hurricanes. And Sean had this globe, and he would go, no, look, these storms start from underneath New Zealand. They're called Southern Hemisphere swells, or a New Zealander. And these guys thought he was like lying. They didn't even believe that a swell could travel that far.
I didn't know anything about surf forecasting before I met Sean. And back then it was pretty archaic compared to what's happening now. He would have to look at actual old school paper maps and try to figure out what's going to happen. But actually, I think sometimes he had it more on then, to be honest.
We were way ahead of the curve for sure with Sean's ability to forecast, because I don't think anyone else at the time was even getting that information.
From out of the dirt was born the business of surf forecasting as Collins created the technology and techniques of predicting waves.
That was the early stages of our industry, and so with Sean doing his surf forecast, it was certainly brand new. It was pioneering.
Who could forget dialing 976 surf? I mean, there it was, and there was Sean's voice coming in over the phone.
Looks like it's going to pick up a little bit on Friday and the weekend with a little bit of a southwest swell coming in Southern California.
That was like just like a drug every morning that would come in. Everybody's like, where's the wave facts?
It was almost like back then was like analog forecasting, and then it turned to digital forecasting,
As the years passed, the phone gave way to the internet, and as it did, Surfline grew and evolved.
This thing called the internet was like a big mystery, and the fact that you could look on a device and see what a camera was doing from Hawaii, from Pipeline, it was like really like super voodoo.
But he always kept a little bit of it back, because you could tell he never forgot about that joy of a swell arriving.
But none of the technology, none of the business of predicting surf took away from the magic of the arrival of a big swell, or Sean's ability to call it.
He was so spot on. It was unbelievable.
A couple of big waves I've caught in my life, Sean was involved in every single one, in the timing of it, telling me, hey, be in the water from 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock, that's when the swell is going to peak.
Pretty much before any trip, I would spend a lot of time calling Sean, like blowing his phone up and getting on email with him, and he'd give me a good rundown, and he just said, yeah, you don't want to miss this one.
He goes, smell that? And I go, what? Bacon and eggs? And he goes, no. And he takes another smell, and he goes, there's a change in the weather. There's a storm approaching.
Years of sailing and surfing, he just kind of had a gut feeling, and he learned to go with it.
He just dropped little hints here and there. Sean was really good at that. He would never give you the exact information that you'd want, because he'd want you to actually learn about it and figure it out for yourself. And so yeah, in his dry humor.
I had a dream this morning, and Sean was there.
On Sunday, January 8th, hundreds of family and friends paddled out to celebrate the life of Sean Collins, who passed away on December 26th.
This man influenced an entire generation, millions of surfers and non-surfers, on how we chase and catch waves.
It's like a tree, he's created this huge tree, and there's so much fruit still falling off it, and he's an absolute legend.
Let's keep watching the clouds as Sean would, and make the world happen.
When asked recently if there was a secret to his success, Collins responded, "Follow your passion. Try to be a really good person and a good judge of character, and then just surround yourself with really good people. Add lots of luck, and all kinds of great things can happen." Sean Collins didn't make the waves, but he told us when and where to find them. Then he created a forum, a home for millions of people around the world whose passion for waves equaled his own. And that made him one of the most influential surfers in the history of our sport.